Hey, yo, what's good? What's up? After a week break? Some dude is back, man. How you doing, Mike?
What's up, bro? I didn't even really know if we needed a break or not. I just,
We
I be,
did.
I be seeing, I be like reading the room. I know how to read the room a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay,
it
so
seemed,
so
it felt like my
so
boy needed a week off, so I didn't even yo, we good? We
well,
going?
you right, cause nigga probably got COVID.
Oh my god, bro! Again?
Yeah, well, whatever this first one was, it ain't hitting like this shit.
It ain't hitting like the first time. But
Hell
that's because you
nah, nigga.
vaccinated. That's because you vaccinated.
I know. Well, yeah, yes and no, cause this shit was worse than what I dealt with then.
So this is worse than the first time when we thought you
Yeah,
had it.
yes.
Really? That's interesting.
That's why I'm clean shaven. I want to get all that hair off me that might be that like so yeah, man. Landon contracted the shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and Trey was sick. This was Tuesday. Tuesday, everybody was well. Landon was sick. Then we took Landon to the hospital. Well, the wife took him to the hospital because I got to stay with the kids. And then he tested positive with the shit. So Thursday we went to go take the
Damn.
test. So we waiting on that. The only one who's gotten their test back is Liam, who tested positive. Then all of this happened around Trey's.
Bruh.
And then all this happens around Trey's 7th birthday. And Trey's supposed to start his first day of second grade tomorrow too. So he ain't coming up to the school. That nigga's virtual.
Bruh. So
Yeah.
your two babies
Yeah. All
contracted
confirmed.
it. Bro, what
Confirmed.
the fuck, fam?
Confirmed. So
Bro.
Miriam's in the bedroom. She down. She's sick and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm off and on. Temperature is wild, fam. Wild as hell right now. I wake up in the morning and I feel like it's like Yokozuna is sitting on my chest.
Oh.
Like I said, the temperature and
Oh my
shit,
God.
being this bitch sweaty. And we got
That's
stairs
crazy.
and shit too. So, like, nigga, walking up the stairs, it's a chore, my nigga.
Yeah.
It's a chore, my
Yeah.
nigga. I mean, I'm not as down bad as I would say everybody else. Like, Landon had two hospital visits.
Okay.
Two hospital visits. Because he was dehydrated and everything. But,
Look.
I mean, hey. Yeah, so it was, man, this is
Mm-hmm.
this shit ain't nothing to play with, fam. I'm not
Oh
about to get
yeah.
on here. I'm definitely not about to start this podcast like a PSA to get vaccinated and shit, cause then,
Oh yeah.
niggas be like, oh man, y'all niggas got paid to advertise for COVID or some shit, huh? Nah, I ain't doing that. What I will say, however,
Mm-hmm.
is I'm thankful that I did get vaccinated because it could probably be worse than what it is right now. And I got pre-existing.
Yeah.
So that's one. And seeing
And
what
I don't think
everybody
and I
else
don't
going
think
through
that
shit.
and I don't think that we need to be on here to preach that. If you guys have listened to this show, we've told our stories, and I lost two
Yeah,
family members back to
right.
back to
Oh,
COVID. So if y'all don't know that it's real, then you just need to go educate yourself again. Like
yeah,
this man
yeah,
is right here literally telling y'all that his two youngest children have contracted it. He has a newborn, bro. Like
yeah,
this shit ain't nothing to play with. I'm like, oh, bro,
yeah.
I deep down, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah,
Like
this shit ain't.
my
Yeah,
prayers up to the family,
yeah.
fam.
Thank you. Yeah, this
You
shit ain't nothing
know,
to play with, Jack. This
so
shit ain't
if
nothing
y'all
to
don't
play
know it's
with.
real, we here to tell y'all it's real, bro. And we ain't finna tell y'all what to do or nothing like that. Like you're gonna live your life how you live your life, but just know that it is real. So just only thing that I can say, I speak for myself, is protect yourself. I'm pretty sure Bang feels the same way. Do whatever it is you
Yeah,
can. Follow guidelines that's gonna protect you and protect others, and that's it.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm definitely not gonna be on here doing that shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
But this shit right here, like I said, this shit ain't nothing to play with, Jack. this shit.
Yeah.
Like I be trying to work and shit, and just be. I give you a perfect example of some shit that happened yesterday. So I get done working, and I work from home. I know somebody be like, "Man, stop working." Like, fam, like I'm basically allowing myself and my team to do their shit, but I'll walk away from the computer. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll make sure Liam, or Landon, or Miriam taken care of and all that shit. Definitely been on my Dr. Mom shit. While she down.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to sleep, fam, and I don't remember what time I went to sleep. Shit's foggy yesterday. But I don't remember what time I went to sleep. But I woke up and all I saw was 8:30.
Yeah.
And Tuesdays out here is garbage day. So all I see is 8:30.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. I go downstairs, put on my shoes, open up the garage, pull the garbage out, pull it back down, go up in the house. Like, damn, I almost forgot to take the garbage out this morning. And Miriam looked at me like, this morning? So yeah. She's like, fam, it's 8:30 at night. What the fuck is you talking about this morning? I said, wait a minute, what?
This shit got this nigga cloudy.
Nigga, I say, wait a minute, what?
You don't even know what time of the day it is.
Nigga, I did not know it was 8:30 at night. I'm thinking it's raining. I mean, I'm thinking it just stopped raining. So it's just a little dark outside in the morning. I did not think that it was 8:30 p.m.
Yeah.
My G.
Yeah.
Cloudy, fam. Cloudy.
That's crazy.
Cloudy. At that point, fam, I knew this was not to be played with. At that point. Last night, I mean, I'm not playing with the shit, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at that point last night, I say, yeah, this different.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Now, I mean, obviously, I know what, doctors and everything will tell you, like, if you contracted, all right, cool, you got to quarantine.
Yeah.
But this is to an adult. Quarantine for 14 days, or everything like that. You go back, you're feeling better, you get retested, blah, blah. But with the children, how is this affecting the kids? And, like,
Fam,
what do they tell you? What do the
shit's-
doctors, like, say, like, as far as, like, guidelines, is like, pertaining to, like, kids, bro? Like, how does that go? Like, educate some people that don't know.
This is the worst shit ever, fam.
Yeah.
As a father, as a parent, this is the worst shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like with the flu, you go get you some Mucinex and shit, some all that medicine shit. And like, all right, cool. This shit right here, nah. Mm-hmm. As a parent, I wouldn't. Nah, this shit. Like the first couple of days, me and Miriam, like before we found out he got it, like Monday, you could see something was off with Landon, and he'd get up early in the morning. Like Landon get up early in the morning like twice. He get up at 12 o'clock, and he get up at like 3.
Yeah.
You just give him a bottle, go on his way. That nigga would not stay asleep. Mm-hmm. And we looking at each other like, what the fuck is going on, fam? And then Wednesday we take him to the hospital and we find out he got COVID. But it ain't like he can just point at his head and be like, headache, stomach ache, chest. No, he can't, like, he can't really communicate like that. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of like, man, what the fuck is going on? What can we do type shit? Then he threw up. Like what happened is, what the clincher was, he threw up like 4 times. Back to back to back to back. He threw up 2 times downstairs in the car seat. Then I bring him upstairs. He in the bathroom. Blah. I'm like, what the fuck? Scared to eat.
Yeah.
Scared to eat. Scared to drink. Like you might hear him outside the room. That's probably because I gave Trey my PlayStation 4. Yeah. That nigga's just PlayStation 4 out. Yeah. Fuck everybody right now. But nah, like that shit's difficult to really like get a handle on them and their emotions.
Mhm.
Then, when you got a baby there, you see the baby, you get a little bit jealous. And then you got Liam, who really can't say shit. He's 4 months old. So you got to make sure you monitor his temperature and all that shit, both of them. And then since Landon you can't really drink dairy with this
Mhm.
shit. It's not a good idea at all. Drink, like, when that shit's really start hitting him, he take a bottle, and then as soon as he's done, blah.
Mhm.
So, like, it's like, man, I got to try to get this motherfucker to drink some Pedialyte. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Get the straw out. Maybe he'll take it. Gatorade. Get the straw out. Maybe he'll take it. Like, this shit is, now, it's the most frustrating shit that I had to deal with as a parent thus far.
Mhm.
And the thing is with Landon, and what make it even like kind of more emotional, is that this nigga has been in the hospital more times for random shit than
Mhm.
I've been in my lifetime. When we came back, as I talked about on the pod before, like around when we started, we had came out to the crib for Thanksgiving. We get off the plane, go to urgent care for him
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Trey.
Mhm.
And then he ended up having to have a 2 day stay in the hospital. Think it was 2 days. Yeah, so he had some similar shit already
Mhm.
as a kid with the ventilator and all of that shit. Then, not to mention, remember I told y'all nigga cut his damn eye, hit his damn eye on the end of the
Yep.
bed, and he had to get
Mhm.
stitches and shit. Then you got this shit. He's been to the hospital twice in like a week for this shit. Like, this nigga has been to the hospital way more times than me.
Mhm.
Like, in there. And then you got Landon, he 4 months old on the 14th. Now Trey seems like the only person that's no longer affected by this.
Mhm.
Trey, Monday, sleep, sweating, not feel good. And since Thursday though,
He kicking it.
he kicking it hard, fam. Now I felt bad that we wasn't able to, pop like we wanted to on his birthday, because
Yeah.
his birthday was on the 15th, and
Mhm.
especially being that he's about to start school.
Mhm.
So I do feel bad about that, but man, this shit right here. And then I got to quarantine for 14 days. It's like the Department of Health calls you,
Yeah.
Jack, and they contact trace. So they on the phone. Hey, so we heard you was in contact with somebody with COVID. Mind you, I ain't get my test back, but these niggas ready to ask me where I was at.
Mhm.
Like, so where was you at? Who was you with? Do you got their phone number? We need to let them know that they might have been affected by yada yada yada. I'm on the phone like, damn, y'all nosy, but okay. Like, y'all got my test yet? Did you take it? Yeah. I give you my
Yeah.
social security number if you need it.
Yeah.
Well, we ain't got it yet. What the fuck you calling me for then? We want to let you know that, like, yeah, he's in the next room. Like, I know. Then got to go to the school to get trade shit. And the school's like, hey, of course, don't come. It's virtual for you and shit. And then, they telling me all this shit. We gonna get this stuff together. I'm like, look, I don't want to even be by y'all because contact tracing. Hey, we're
Mhm.
gonna drop it off on the blue chair out in the front. When I get in the door, you
Yeah.
come get it.
Yeah.
We're like, yo, so I mean, I say all this say, man, like you probably even hear it sometimes during this pod where I might sound like tired, more tired than usual, like I'm fat. So
Mhm.
I might get the sometimes when we do the pod. Well, you might hear it a lot today,
Mhm.
as I try to, but yeah, it's weird, it's dangerous. My brother called me like cussing me out and shit, because of some family shit. And then I'm sitting there letting him cuss me out on the phone, right? And I'm like, fam, I probably got COVID. So, like, not really gonna go back and forth with you today because I'm tired. And it was like 1 o'clock on Friday. It was like 1 o'clock Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And like right after midnight, I'm like, why the fuck is my brother calling me? He's got to be an emergency or some shit. You blah 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 blah. I'm like, fam, we might got COVID up in his crib. I know one of us got it, so I ain't got no time to argue with you. Why the fuck you ain't tell me you got COVID, nigga? Like, see, that's the shit that I'm talking about. We could have pulled up. Like, pulled up where, my nigga? Like, you can't pull up here. To do what, fam? You can't pull up here. You can't come here. Don't knock on the door. You can't come in the house. Nigga, yeah. Most you could do is drop some orange juice there, my nigga. You can't even come to the door, my nigga. You gotta be on the street. Like, nigga, you can't. Get the fuck out of here, fam. Like, yeah, so it's that don't mean nothing.
Before we move on, how do you quarantine throughout the house though? Like, how does that work?
I mean,
like,
we all got it, nigga. We gotta wear masks.
So y'all just pretty much is okay. I thought you said Miriam contracted it too. You said Miriam.
It ain't official.
Okay, but
we waiting for them.
All right.
To let us know what we know. That's literally what it is right now, nigga.
All right.
We waiting on them to let us know what we already know. 2 already got they shit. We just waiting on 3 more. About time they tell us this shit, quarantine probably be over, goddammit. But nah, I was supposed to go to Cleveland. They got their summer jam coming up. I was supposed to help out and shit, go visit my cousin Sam Silk, visit my nigga A+ and shit, and then work, kick it with my girl AC, meet our new online editor in Cleveland and shit. Shit was supposed to be lit. Niggas tell me, no, you got to quarantine for 14 days. Like, fuck. I just bought this goddamn ticket. Like, I bought the ticket and then get the shit the next day. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So this is the very COVID episode of Some Dude Pod. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Go ahead and get that merch. Some Dude Pod merch.store. Follow us on Instagram at Some Dude Pod. Follow the group Some Dude Pod. If you don't want to be in the group but you want to stay in the know, Some Dude, like us on Facebook. A couple of things before we really get deep into it, and that thing is. It's one thing I want to ask you about, but I'll do that in a minute. You see the Trevor Bauer shit, dude with the Dodgers?
Yeah, I haven't. I remember when the story first broke, but I haven't really been following it.
He nasty too. I guess he liked the fucking fight.
I'm following it now as I guess he's in court. So, they're kind of reporting it more, but I really wasn't following it too much. But yeah.
Apparently he punched the lady in the pussy.
Yeah, this is weird.
He spread her legs and was just like, yo.
Yeah.
Douche.
Yeah.
Douche. So the reason why I brought it up, though, is that I've heard more about Trevor Bauer shit than I heard about the Deshaun Watson shit. Mm-hmm. Like, once they said on ESPN that nigga allegedly spreaded the lady's leg and punched her in the vagina. ESPN. Yes, my nigga.
I thought ESPN was avoiding these type of conversations.
I thought so too. This is why I'm going to say this is a situation where the whites lose out here. Because I'm looking at this story. I'm like, yo, I never thought I'd hear today on ESPN when they say a white man at that spreaded a lady's legs and punched her in the vagina, allegedly. And for him to be like, oh, nah, all this shit was consensual. This was the shit they wanted. This is Deshaun Watson. Even now, because I saw
ESPN. Don't look so bad, do it.
Nah, it don't look so bad. Nigga, this nigga was just pumping in the air, nutting on the stomach after massages. But no, they do his shit so quick, my nigga. They be like, yeah, the FBI talked to according to lawyers, the FBI talked to the NFL about Deshaun Watson. He's currently practicing, but he's not slated to play in any preseason game. But then, I get the whole 9-inning rundown about Trevor Bauer. This nigga's punching the lady in the vagina, punched the lady in the eye. They got text messages on ESPN.com of the lady was like, yo, he was wild. I knew he was wild, but I didn't know he was this wild. Like, hey, this is proof that this is consensual. She knew what the fuck. White people, I don't know any of my homies' sex lives. I don't know, and I don't care to know. But the fact that you got a white man physically beating a woman ass while having sex, like it's foreplay, my nigga, y'all wild. Like who?
Shit right there.
Like who? I mean, yes, some women like to get choked during sex, but I never heard a woman like still off me, so I could come. Like who says that?
I've seen
slap me, nigga. Like
I've seen my fair share of pornography, and you know I may have read across some shit like that. Now I don't know.
Never.
It's all white people too. It's all white people. Maybe
I ain't never run in that.
Maybe she over exaggerating the story. Maybe they was like he was fisting her.
No, it wasn't. No, because they would have been like a sexual.
We got a little aggressive with it.
That because if it would have been fisting, they would have been like a sexual maneuver or some shit. Like no, she said that the lady said that he spreaded her legs. Bow.
Bro, what are you?
How you like me now? Like, did you come? Like you ain't come? Bow. Like, did that make you like? Because even if it was fisting, just slowly get that motherfucker up in there, put some lube on that bitch, and just don't punch it. They don't punch it like the nigga did some shit to you. Like, bow, like they put you, and then he a picture, so he probably put his elbow in that shit. Yum. Like apparently, Trevor has a history, and the lady had filed a restraining order. Like that's why this shit was on. Like, oh, they filed a restraining order. Okay, let's go. It's like, yeah, this is what happened. But like, it's pictures of like one of the ladies with black eyes and shit. Like, white people are weird. Who the fuck wants to fight and fuck?
White people.
This nigga just got the biggest contract for a picture in history. He probably celebrated by getting some hoes and just was like fucking and like bitch.
Yes, bro. Yeah, shit's
bitch,
weird,
bitch, I just signed for 200 mil. Wow, like yeah, suck my bow.
All I gotta say, free Deshaun Watson, goddamn it, shit.
I mean, at this point,
my man was just a little, he's just a little more freaky with the massages, bro. That's all.
He was weird. I mean, both is weird, but one is weird, the other one is violent. I'm still confused. I am very confused still on how you punch a chick in the eye.
Yeah, bro. I haven't. You giving me more details than I know. So I mean, I didn't know about that part, bro. I thought he was just like being physical with her after, like on some just like regular shit, shit, like domestic shit. I thought it was domestic. So apparently it's domestic. Hold on, we got Trey live on some dude.
Yeah, Trey, what you want, Trey? I'm recording. What you need?
The cord came off the charger.
So we will get it. We'll talk about it later, fam. I'm recording. All right. That goddamn PlayStation 4. Close the door. Goddamn PlayStation 4. I'm glad he didn't hear the conversation.
So
Trey, my door, close it. Matter of fact, let me read this shit. Let me read this shit.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, the details that you're giving me right now.
Let me read it. Let me see some of this shit. I'm going to Yahoo News. Like, the woman accused by Trevor Bauer of sexual assault. Continue testimony. Blah blah blah. The woman said that the woman accuses him of sexual assault testified about the injury she say sustained at the baseball player's hands. The lawyers of the woman who has chosen a name played the voice message. Check that left in the hospital. He apparently called her while she was at the hospital. It's like, hey, dude, just wanted to check on how you're doing. I'm worried about you. He left a voicemail. What the fuck, man? Lawyer said the woman also said text messages Bauer sent in response to the photos on her face after one alleged assault in May, asking, "Damn, girl, are you okay?" What the? This funny. Let me first say, this ain't sexual assault is not funny. I want this to be clear. I'm laughing about how wild this shit is, though, because it's weird. Like she said, this is a quote from her. I text Trevor a picture of my face because I wanted him to see what he did, and I wanted him to know what happened when I was unconscious. What the type of shit, man? Like the woman further women.
What was his response?
Damn, girl, you okay? Like she texted him a picture of his. She texted this man a picture of her face, and his reaction was, "Damn, girl, you okay?"
Oh my god!
Damn, girl, you okay? What? Damn. Like, it's like the Kevin Hart. It's like the Kevin Hart Don Cheadle shit. I'm 56. Damn. Like, damn. She sent him a picture of his face. Apparently, he punched her, and his damn girl, you okay? Now I got the woman. Here's another part.
I'm right now.
Hold on. Because apparently nigga like punched her in the ass and shit too.
Bro, what?
This nigga's wild, fam.
It's all new
All I'm saying is, if this shit true, fam, if this shit's true, Trevor Bauer needs help, son. Like, he needs help. He needs to understand that you do not have to get violent with having sex. Like he strangled her. She said she strangled her unconscious. That shit right there.
All I know is
and he said
it was all consensual.
That's what I'm saying. He's saying this shit was consensual. Like, she said at one point the woman testified that she was unable to move or speak after Bauer choked her unconscious during the second encounter. So she went back. And not saying that, not putting the onus on her, just say she went back. She said she pulled her hair. Was at the behest of her attorney, she pulled the hair from the front of her neck to show how Bauer sat on her back and pulled very tightly until she couldn't breathe. So all I'm thinking is this motherfucker's into BDSM.
What is it like?
And he
Shades of Gray on crack.
This is on crack, fam.
It's like Shades of Gray on crack.
This is literally fuck a safe word.
Yeah, ain't no safe words. G. That's what.
Ain't no. Like, this is the part right here. While describing other violent acts originally outlined in the declaration attached to a temporary restraining order, most notably how Bauer allegedly took a closed fist to her jaw, vagina, and buttocks, the woman said, I didn't do anything to him. He didn't say anything to me. It was like I was a rag doll. Fam, this basically, he's into some freaky shit. He is into BDSM, that type of shit, but it's almost like he uses the girls as like the what's the room? Like, what's the rooms and shit that you go up in there and you just destroy shit? Forgot what they call it. But that's what he uses women for.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. But how do you just like, how do you just punch a chick in a vagina? That's weird. He's weird. And he gotta go. Like, we probably shouldn't be laughing at this shit the way we laughing at it. White people are weird. Like what?
Rage room.
Yeah, he treat the women like a rage room. It's like, get a woman in the room, close the door, and it's just like he got it, like he fucks the bitches the gore and shit. Heavy like gore metal like.
I'm slightly disturbed, bro.
I'm disturbed in the motherfucker too.
I'm disturbed, fam, a little bit.
That's like me coming into a room and it's a chicken there and she go, dude, get on my nuts and my dick. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Hey,
it's like I'm about to go stay Holly Berry and we close the door and shit and she turns on some heavy metal and shit and next thing you know she's no whoa
I
whoa
had.
whoa come here fat boy
Oh my god.
twist your nipples like yo this is
I was completely unaware of all of this information. I thought it was like, something separate, like sexual assault. You know
nah
what I'm saying? I didn't know
he
it was
assaults
this.
while having
I know it was
sex
domestic. I knew it was domestic violence. I thought maybe he
it
was just
is
beating her up. But I didn't know he was beating her
yeah
up during sex. And
it
he allegedly thought he felt like this was all consensual. That's weird, bro. I'm
that's
I'm weirded out, bro. I'm
how
really
do you
disturbed.
go back in the locker room, G? Let's be real, because we black and we've been in some locker rooms,
Yeah.
and and we've grown from this, but we'll look at a nigga crazy if we thought he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I ain't changing up in here. No shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. Imagine if you went up in the locker room and you find out your team may be punching chicks in the pussy.
Weird,
That's
bro.
his thing. You're like,
That's
man,
weird. Bro. That's
he got to
weird as
quit the
hell, bro.
team. He would
He
have to quit the team.
he might be done, bro. He might not throw a pitch ever
Might.
again in Major League Baseball, bro.
Fam. Look, the Deshaun shit, he gonna get on the team. He a little
Deshaun,
weirdo,
Deshaun good, bro. He good. My nigga
but
just enjoy massages a little too much.
he just right. He
That's
just
all.
love massages a little bit too much. Trevor Bauer like beating women up, having sex.
Yeah, that's some. I can't think of
Choke me, don't mind if I do. Like what the fuck?
like we obviously like I know how 50 Shades of Grey went. Like dude had like look, bro, wrote her out a contract. Say, look, this is what we're gonna do. It let me know if I'm hurting you, if you safe word.
Don't
Da,
you
da,
never
da.
ask?
You know what I'm saying? Like this shit right here is totally different. But it was like using whips and all that other bullshit. My nigga's using his actual hand.
Choke me,
So
spank me, pull my hair. Don't mind if I do. Like,
he
don't
taking
you
it
never
beyond.
ask?
He taking it beyond choke, spank, pull. This nigga,
It's a
this,
good.
like
It's
that's wild. But
it's
I never heard
it's
anything
wild.
like that before, bro. I never heard anything like that.
Never. Now it's a good segue.
Yeah.
And I forgot who I was. I forgot. No, I was looking at the Tyler the Creator interview with Ebro, and he was talking about. He was basically talking about shit that you geek out about. And I was one, especially with especially having time a little bit. I was looking at the interview and I was like, you know what? I wonder what people geek about now. Like even as we get older, what do you geek about? Like, cause if you haven't watched that Tyler the Creator interview with Ebro in the morning, it's a great interview.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about a lot of shit, the
I
DJ
saw
Khaled
clips.
shit. Yeah, you
I
gotta
saw
watch the
clips.
full. You gotta watch the full interview because the full interview is amazing. Like it even makes you think, right, about how, like how people be like, man, ain't nobody listening to no motherfucking Tyler the Creator. Ain't nobody listening to no motherfucking Chance the Rapper. Ain't nobody listening to no Childish Gambino. But then you go to a motherfucking show of theirs, it's sold out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and where you at, people might not listen to it. But just because people are not listening to it where you at, that don't mean people are listening to it. But he was talking about like he had mentioned some shit about like shit that he geek out about, and he expressed how he loves like '90s R&B or just R&B in general, and how he goes on like R&B like IG joints, and you will see him comment and all of that shit. Like it was funny hearing him mention Vivian Green's album because I'm like, damn, I don't hear nobody mentioning that first Vivian Green album, and Emotional Roller Coaster is still my shit. That album cold.
Anybody that know Tyler the Creator, like I've seen him do other interviews and I've just seen him speak and talk about shit. He loves the vintage shit. Like he has he young, very young, but knows his old shit. Like when it comes to the old vintage music, he into all of that, Joe. Like dude is a real student. Like he knows.
Yeah, so I was thinking about like, especially like when you growing up and shit in high school, it was like some shit that people that you like that you couldn't go to high school and be like, yo, I'll use this for an example because I used this example on First Black Chat. You see all these girls and shit that all of a sudden like wrestling. And you
Right.
like, yo,
We
when you
talked about.
start watching wrestling? It's like, I
Mm-hmm.
watch wrestling for years.
Didn't know you was
I mean,
on that.
what? I didn't know
Like you
you was on
said.
there. Nigga, I could have been finger fucking you doing watching Raw. Could have been. We
Mm-hmm.
could have been watching Raw together. But she didn't want to. She didn't want to seem like no lame
Yeah.
while she was in high school. But now, John Cena come across the screen and it's like, oh shit, it's John Cena. I like when he came in at first when he was going up against Kurt Angle. And you're like, bitch, what? You was watching that? Yeah, I've been watching since I was little. Shit, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior. Alright, tell me a different name. Don't tell me a big name. Tell me a name that if I would only know you really watch wrestling by giving me this name. Oh man, shit, the honky tonk man. I ain't fuck with him like that. And I remember when Outlaw. Remember the only reason why the Ultimate Warrior got the Intercontinental Championship because Brutus the Barber Beefcake couldn't wrestle at SummerSlam because Outlaw Ron Bass put the spur to his head and made him bleed, bitch.
Oh hell
You.
no!
We could have been girlfriend and boyfriend listening to Tevin Campbell. Can we talk? But nah, you was like, yo, I'm not coming to school to talk about wrestling. You a lame, Lee, but you been watching this shit. You sit up and call me a goddamn lame and shit, but then in your head, you be like, man, but shit, Nitro was cold than a motherfucker. That, it's like, what's that? Money don't cost a thing and shit. When she found out she lame than a motherfucker, but she found a nigga that like she building up, but she like some of the lame shit. That could have been us.
Yeah, love don't cost a thing.
So, so I was thinking like, what other than sports and music? Because we talk about sports and music all the time, and wrestling, because we both know it. Is there anything that you like geek out about? Like, I'm a nerd when it comes to this shit. This my shit. And I might get called a lame by somebody if they knew I was really fucking with this shit.
Like well, I geek about golf, tennis, but I geek about that shit when Tiger and Venus and Serena
Yeah.
play. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that shit, know the scoring of that shit and all of that. Like, I love watching that shit, especially when they play.
Wow.
I geek about the Olympics. Like we said it, like, bro, like we've been watching the Olympics since we were shorties. Like, we love that track and field shit. Love watching the swimming shit. Like, bro, I think I watched more this Olympics than any Olympics that I can remember.
I
So
didn't on
Olympics,
this one.
I was watching every fucking thing. Like,
I
I
was
was so
trying.
excited. I'm like, yo, they got fucking skateboarding now. Nigga, I'm watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? I was watching water polo, the women water polo team. They was getting busy.
They was getting busy.
I was geeking off that shit. Like, that's like that. But
Have you ever played? No, you didn't play what you was at East, so I know y'all motherfuckers didn't play water polo. When I transferred to Lions Township, the motherfuckers playing water polo. I was like, oh shit, them motherfuckers. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then there was this girl had some big ass titties in the gym and swimming and shit.
Yeah.
You want to be the goalie?
Yeah.
I think her name was Sabina or some shit. But anyway.
I watch me and my brother, we watch bowling. Like we obviously we're bowlers, but watching this shit is different.
Also, y'all like watch the shit.
Whoa, we know all the bowlers, bro.
Oh yeah, because you like Pete Webb and all them shits.
Yeah, Pete Webb, even with the new guys, like bowling it's evolved, but it hasn't evolved like one day I would hope it gets to, like, because my daughter, she's a bowler, and I would hope one day that she would be on TV bowling professionally. So just
why is bowling not an Olympic sport?
That's a good ass question, Bang. Good ass fucking question. And you took the words right out of my mouth. I've said that numerous times, and I would hope one day by the time my daughter gets to at least 16, 17 years old, which I would hope by that time she's like really good, 200 average. Hopefully she might go pro when she's 16. She would be able to go to the Olympics and bowl. But watching it though is like if you like, I go to the bowling alley every other fucking day and just watching these professionals bowl. It's a good thing to see. Like, I geek on that shit as well. It used to be like bowling ran on ESPN, but it don't roll on ESPN no more.
Hold on. See, my son, come here, Trey. Because my son Come here. No, come here. Because my son, I gave my son my PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And he's playing it. And I keep telling him I'm recording the podcast. And you can't interrupt me. Like, this is my time. This is daddy time.
Trey, like, look, dog, I'm trying to get it going on this game.
Can I record the podcast without you interrupting me about doggone WWE game?
Yeah.
You see, that was a reluctant ass yeah. Might give a fuck about this goddamn podcast, Dad.
Like,
who fuck listen to it?
Help
you
me.
know who listen to the podcast? Your mama do. Alright? At least she listens to the podcast. No, if people listen to my damn podcast, Trey. Can I record it?
Yeah.
Alright. We talk about the game later. Okay?
Okay.
Alright, tell Mike bye.
Peace, Trey. Happy belated birthday.
Say bye.
Bye.
All right, now close the door. Let me record the podcast. That part is making the podcast.
That's on the podcast. Also do podcast. But yeah, but what about you, man?
It was because I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, what do I be nerding out about that ain't wrestling, sport, like talking about on the pod? Because everybody know I got a wrestling podcast, First Black Champ. We talk about sports and shit on here.
I know you did say I didn't mention. I did mention sports, but those are the sports that you.
But that's sports you wouldn't mention, like you wouldn't think of. Yeah. So I came to the conclusion: there's a couple of things. First of all, it's 80s music, like 80s white music. It's shit revolving around white people.
I think I've been geeking off like white bops lately too. Like every time I hear a white bop, I be like, I do the little thing on Snapchat where I be like trying to figure out what the name of the song is. If I don't know, they got a thing on. They got a function.
Oh, they got a Shazam on that bitch.
Yeah, you can get the name of the song. So I've been putting white bops in the white playlist just randomly. Every time I hear a white bop, bro.
You're like, boom, there you go. So I had to go to the store, right, to get some shit. And I had the white bop song. Turn that bitch all the way up. Now, you look at me, mean face. This is before I shaved all the shit off. You're like, oh, he's listening to some thuggish shit. As soon as I'm on that, roll that window down. Take on me. Motherfuckers looking at me like, what the fuck? At Walmart, like,
yep.
Did not expect that from him. Goddamn, he's listening to. But I love 80s music, movies, soundtracks. Okay. I will, I put the pitch up of Over the Top this weekend. And I watched that shit like I did when I was young on Channel 9. Watched that whole shit. Didn't realize Scott Norton from WCW was in that motherfucker. But he up in that joint. I'm sitting up there talking. Miriam's like, I seen the movie a couple of times. What's this shit about? I'm like, man, shit. No. Sylvester Stallone, estranged wife is dying of cancer. She want him to pick up his son and spend some time with him because they don't do that shit. The granddaddy is pissed. Yeah. And the son is a spoiled ass brat. You teach him how to be a man and shit. And, one goddamn arm wrestling tournament with that shit.
And it's crazy you say that too because like you say like white cinema, like white music,
white cinema.
I geek over plenty of white cinema that I loved when I was a shorty. Like you see my Facebook post. If I see American Pie, I'm watching it. If I see Bring It On, I'm watching it. If I see Clueless on, I'm watching it. If I see if I see Adventures in Babysitting, I'm watching it.
Yeah, but yeah, for me it's the 80s. It's the 80s joints. It's like the 80s and early 90s, but mostly the 80s joints. Like I saw Look Who's Talking on HBO Max, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna watch this before they take it down. I could repeat lines from that goddamn movie. I famously said on this bitch that I love Porky's and they should remake Porky's. Tyler Bauer cannot be a part of that bitch. I even be looking up obscure movies. Like, it's funny because my life when I was little revolved around TV. Mm-hmm. As a latchkey kid for a minute, but just watching like obscure shit that used to come on Channel 9 didn't have this obscure shit because it was funny because shouts out to Teron Edmonds who listens to the podcast. He said Amadeus on Channel 9 and I swear to God, Channel 9 played Amadeus on that late movie so many goddamn times, and I never watched it because I ain't want to watch no movie about no goddamn Mozart. But the only reason why I knew who F. Murray Abraham was for a minute was because of goddamn Amadeus. So like, but Amadeus, The Running Man, Over the Top, Predator, all them shits, like the Death Wish series, Halloween, the season of the witch. Like it wasn't even like Halloween 1 and 2. It'd be Halloween season of the witch, the one without Michael Myers and shit. They show all them shits, and them shits was my fucking life. But on the USA Network, they used to have the obscure movies on there. It's a movie called Reform School Girls. I want y'all to look this up. It's a movie called Reform School Girls. Now, Bang ain't have no reason to watch this motherfucker at the age he watched it at. But I did. Because, especially if your parents is partying, they got friends over and shit, you ain't going to sleep, so you gonna watch some shit, but you can't watch porn. Like last week, I told y'all how I was 6 years old looking at Cinemax and Showtime and all that shit. Well, if everybody kicking it at the house, right, I was wild. If everybody kicking it at the house, you can't watch Cinemax. Watch USA Network. They had this movie called Reform School Girls, right? This movie was about this girl. She was bad. She got into a fight. I think somebody got hurt. They arrested her. They sent her to reform school. And she was getting bullied in that bitch. And there was this one chick that was kind of like swole. She had some big swole ass titties. And she had a mohawk and shit. I forgot her name, but she was bullying it. But it was like a cat that all of them fuck with. Everybody in the reform school, all the girls like the cat though. Now I ain't talking about pussy. I'm talking about an actual like, cat. So then like the warden killed the cat. So everybody was pissed at the warden because they killed the cat. So now it was basically like y'all abusing us, y'all doing this and y'all doing that. So they was basically fighting up against the prison. It's one scene towards the end where the swole chick was on like a school bus or some shit. And like she basically killed the warden, but she had to jump off the shit, but she ended up dying. But she was like, yeah. I had no business watching this shit when I was little, but yet I watched that shit. I love obscure 80s movies. If I see some shit and that bitch was between 80 and 89, I'm probably gonna watch it. And even when it comes to soundtracks and montages too. Because Rocky has all of the best montages. Teen Wolf has an underrated montage when they was coming back and shit and when in the end. That's underrated. What's another joint? I like what's that? Mannequin. And I love Mannequin and the soundtrack. Because you got the movie and then you got what's that Jefferson Starship or whatever Starship. Nothing's gonna stop us now, which is a great white bop. I nerd off on that shit. I love movies, but like obscure 80s movies and soundtracks and all that shit, I love mainly because, like I said again, if I was at the crib and shit, I was probably looking at movies. And if we had cable at the time, I was on Showtime and on HBO and on Cinemax watching some of these joints. And then you get older and you be like, damn, I want to watch Mannequin. Mannequin 2 is huff though, or batteries not included, like that shit, or the Porky series, or like horror movies like Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall is a corny ass 80s movie horror flick, but it's around white teenagers who fucking in the mall, like they sit up in the mall after night. Like who the fuck say, hey man, we gonna sleep overnight at the mall? Let's go get some beer, Ted. Yeah, Ron. As the girls coming too, yeah, they're gonna be here too. We're gonna have sex on the mattresses in the mattress store. Like who the fuck? But I watch this shit like 976 Evil, like shit like that. Like as you can tell right now, I geek out on that shit. So that I whatever. What do y'all geek out at, man? Tweet us at JRBang, at MikeB_CHR. Go up in the group. What is the shit that you geek out about? And don't let it be like the shit we already know, like sports and music, unless it's like, man, I really fuck with country music. You know, being this bitch be looking at country music videos and all of that shit. So, all
Yeah.
right, man, let's go ahead and get to this quarterback talk, fam.
Okay.
It's a lot that is going on in the NBA, in the NFL. We're gonna get to the NBA later, excuse me, but there's a lot that's going on in the NFL. You got all of the rookies that's now seen some time in the first preseason game. Justin Fields took the field against for the Bears against the Miami Dolphins. Trevor,
Dang, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Oh well, I'll wait. We get to it. We get to it.
Trevor Lawrence did his thing a little bit. Zach Wilson with the Jets did his thing. Trevor Lawrence is with the Jets. Trey Lance with the 80-yard bomb right off the bat for the San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones did decent. He was probably the worst looking rookie, and he had a nice game against the Patriots. He was good. It was a couple of balls that I saw that was dropped. I was like, oh man, like things could be going a little bit different. When you look at this class, even though it's like I know it's early, but I'll say this: I never seen a preseason where like everybody got off first game.
And it's funny, like before you even put it in the notes, I had thought about it, and I said, I was like, this QB class might be like some top two, top three ever potentially,
Yeah.
like. And when you're looking at it too, like all of these guys, they played their first preseason game and they all looked solid. And there's a actual chance that all 5 of these quarterbacks could be starting week 1. It's a possibility.
Well, somebody get hurt.
When you look at Justin Fields, when you look at Zach Wilson, you look at
who's starting? Zach started.
Zach Wilson, you got Trevor Lawrence,
who's probably more than likely going to start.
You got Trey Lance and you got Mac Jones. Now, the chances is kind of slim to none on them.
Well, Mac Jones has a good chance. No, Mac Jones got a good chance. Now, Trey Lance,
Garoppolo,
it's possible because Jimmy will get hurt.
All right, let's say this then. There's a good possibility that by the midseason, all 5 of these quarterbacks.
Now that, yes. all them motherfuckers might be starting by.
All of them could be
starting by. Each of their buys, I'll say by week 8.
Yeah.
All these motherfuckers might be playing. But let's
just looking at it from that sense, like, man, like the potential is there for these guys. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was at the Bellwood Fest. My daughter had to dance at the Bellwood Fest the Saturday of the Bears game, but I was so intrigued on seeing Justin Fields. I had to watch the Bears game on my phone. I needed to see it, I wanted to see it, and I was very intrigued. And I'm rooting for him, So I'm happy for you Bears fans. I'm happy y'all got y'all potential franchise quarterback, and he did not disappoint. First drive, but after that he settled in and he just looked. I think out of all the quarterbacks, he looks the most poised. Like he's like really settled in there, and like he don't look nervous at all. Like, nothing's gonna make him panic, or like he could have the whole defensive line, offensive line surrounded around him, and he just looked like he's just gonna be in there, bro. Like so.
Look, man, Justin Fields is already the 3rd best quarterback in Bears history. This is not a hot take.
Yeah.
I'm not counting Sig Luckman. That was the 40s, man.
Okay.
And he's already number 1. I got Jim McMahon because he won a world title. He won a Super Bowl. Number 2 is Jay Cutler.
Okay.
Number 3 is Justin Fields. Whoa. And it ain't gonna take a lot.
And Andy Dalton is 4.
Andy Dalton is 4th.
Okay. Right.
Andy Dalton is 4th, right? And Mitch Trubisky is number 5. Eric Kramer is number 6. You see how terrible this Bears quarterback situation is? Like Rex Grossman is number 7. Cade McNown still might be a top 10 Bears quarterback of all time. That's how terrible this shit is.
And that's the reason why, like, I'm excited for the Bears. Like, I'm excited for Justin Fields. Like, I think you guys got y'all one. So,
because even if I have to remove, and I know some of this shit I'm joking around, but let's remove the motherfuckers from the 40s and the 50s. Like, let's remove George Blanda. Johnny Lou Jack, Sid Luckman. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to ranker.com. The best Chicago Bears quarterbacks of all time. And they got Sid Luckman is number one. So we're going to remove Sid here, ladies and gentlemen, because my daddy's daddy didn't even see this nigga play. So we're going to go with Jim McMahon. This is the rankings that they got right here. They got Jim McMahon number one. And this is removing the 40s niggas too. So Jim McMahon number one, Jay Cutler number two, Jim Harbaugh number three, Eric Kramer number four, Cal Orton number five, Jim Miller 20. Cal Orton. Jim Miller number six, Bobby Douglas number seven, Bill Wade, Doug Flutie, Mike Tomczak, Rex Grossman, Josh McCown, Vince Evans. I don't even know who Rudy Bukic is. So Mitch Trubisky, Steve Fuller, Steve Walsh, I forgot was a Bear. Like, fuck, fam. Brian Greasy, Bob Alavini, Dave Craig in his small ass hands, Virgil Carter, Shane Matthews, my nigga, Chris Chandler, Brad Hoyer, Greg Landry, Mike Phipps, Justin Fields is already 33 on that list. And this is bullshit. Nick Foles, Cordell Stewart, Chase Daniel, Matt Barkley, Andy Dalton is on this list. Craig Krenzel, Caleb Haney, Jason Campbell, Mark Sanchez, Jimmy Carson, Kay McNown, Chad Hutchinson, Mike Lennon, Henry Burris, Moses Marino, Steve Stenstrom, Jonathan Quinn, Peter Tom Willis, Will Fuhrer, Rick Myra, Todd Collins. Majority of these people are people that I've seen in the Bear uniform. Steve Bradley. These are all niggas who's terrible as shit. Fam.
So if you're a Bears fan,
Justin Fields is better. Yes, get excited because this is going to, at the very least, this boy is going to be the best quarterback that you've ever seen put on a Bear uniform, even if he's huff, because it's talent. Even if the talent just don't equate like you want it to. The nigga gonna be able to throw a long ball better than you've ever seen it before. He's probably gonna throw an interception better than you ever seen it before, ladies and gentlemen. This dude is already a top 5 quarterback in Bears history with one preseason game. That's how terrible our quarterback situation is. So I'm not joking when I say what I'm saying. This is not a hot take. It's a hot take saying that Eric Kramer is better than this man with the talent that you see. So I say all that to say this. And again, I'm not joking with what I just said, but I say all that to say this. We have been cheated out of the cycles. And this is what I mean by that. This is what I mean by this, Mike. And I mean we by like people my age and your age too. Because when the Bears won the Super Bowl, it was 1986 in January when they won it. 1985, it was lit. 1984, they was 14-2. Could have very well went and did that shit. The Bears could have won 3 straight titles, but they ran into San Francisco in 1984. 1985, they did their thing, and then the Jim McMahon shit happens in 1986 for that championship. New York ends up winning that. Bears could have very well won 3 championships in the 80s, but they didn't. So we kind of got cheated. Mm-hmm. So Jim McMahon, but when I grow up, we see Jim McMahon on the tail end of his career. Yeah. Then we get Jim Harbaugh. And Jim Harbaugh wasn't bad. Yeah. But at the time, you could say like Jim Harbaugh, like, oh, that's our shit. Mike Tomczak, like, oh. Then, you know, when them cats leave and shit, it's like you get the Cordell Stewarts and get the Steve Stenstroms and Will Fuhrers and Moses Marinos and shit. You get the Henry Burrises. I ain't never seen a Pro Bowl quarterback in a prime. Didn't really see that a lot of times. Mm-hmm. But the 80s is done. In the 80s, the Green Bay Packers was huff. the Minnesota Vikings was decent
Mm-hmm.
with Rich Gannon over there, and Warren Moon. Like what I'm saying is that even if we was better than them, even Minnesota had quarterbacks that I liked.
Yeah,
Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper,
absolutely.
Rich Gannon at a point. Brett Favre was over there. Like, but then when Brett Favre gets there, right? Brett Favre, and they've really seen winning quarterback play for 20 fucking years with him and Aaron Rodgers. Then you got Minnesota sprinkled in. Fucking Detroit don't count. But they had Barry Sanders. So. But shit, Eric Kramer came from over there. Rodney Peete was over there. Who was over there? A couple other decent quarterbacks that was still probably better than our quarterbacks. Matt Stafford. We've been cheated out of the run, so to speak. Like you fucking a Dallas Cowboy fan. Like you grew up seeing them motherfuckers win Super Bowls. But before
I grew up. I saw Troy Aikman, but after Troy Aikman,
you didn't see them win.
I saw them win. But what I'm saying is
No. What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is you saw them win, man. You saw them win, and I don't give a. But I don't care though, because even within that, you got Tony Romo, my nigga. Like
before Romo,
like Quincy Carter and shit.
It was shitty, boy. It was shitty.
Ryan Leaf was there for like 2 days. John Kitna.
It was bad before we got Romo.
But what I'm saying is, but still, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you got a fucking Hall of Famer at quarterback with the triplets. Yeah. But before that, in the 80s, it was Washington that was doing that thing. In the 70s, it was Washington, New York. Then in the 70s, it was Dallas. Yeah. And somewhat Washington. But Washington won, was it 3 Super Bowls in the 90s? In the 80s. 2 or 3. Because they won, I think it was 2 or 3 or whatever. Giants got 1 Super Bowl up in that bitch. You get to the 2000s, the Giants got 2 Super Bowls. You got the cycles and shit. After the 80s, we ain't been involved in the cycles. Yeah. Yo, when Aaron Rodgers decides to go outside of the conference next year, the cycle is ours. If everybody stays healthy, the cycle is ours. And we finally got the quarterback that could be ours for the next 10, 15 years, as long as the organization don't fuck up. And the thing about it is, even if the organization fuck up, it's new territory. Yeah. So I don't even know if they can fuck up. Because we've never had a top flight quarterback like this man in order for us to fuck up and not pay him or do some dumb shit. Yeah. Like, all of this shit is total new territory for us Bears fans. This is new. It's like our virginity. Cherry is bust. Yeah. We lost it. We finally, even if you, like, Jim McMahon was, I think, a top 5 pick in the draft, a top 10 pick in the draft and shit, but not lauded like this man that we got in Justin Fields. Now, I'm still like, let this nigga do some shit, win some games and all that shit, but he's still top 3, top 4 quarterback game 1 off of his talent alone. If this team can stay healthy, we a playoff team, and I think that at the very least, you can start having conversations if he's playing about advancing the playoffs. And the only reason why I'm saying that, I'm not saying that because I'm no thirsty ass Bears fan. The reason why I'm saying it is because once you get in the tournament, things change. Your defense has got to be on point. You can go say how Tom Brady won the Super Bowl and shit, but you look at them goddamn games that they had going to the goddamn Super Bowl. Defense, fam. Kansas City only scored, 9 points? Scored no touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady didn't keep that from happening. That defense did. So if the defense could be on point, they could just get a little bit from the quarterback, my man, they're in the conversation for anything and everything. This team reminds me of the Pittsburgh Steelers when Ben Roethlisberger got there.
Okay.
Running game. Top flight defense, QB, don't fuck it up. Don't you fuck it up.
Okay.
And Ben didn't fuck it up for the most part. But then when Ben went from game manager to Big Ben, sky was the limit, and he got a Super Bowl off of that shit on his own. So that's what this team remind me with the defense that they got. I don't think none of that shit is gonna happen this year, but we've been surprised before. What I'm saying though is that we got us a quarterback that we can have for 10, 15 years, and it's dope to
Yeah.
see. The city is lit. The city is excited about this shit. I'm still curbing my shit, but he's better than any quarterback. He's better than the majority of the quarterbacks I've ever seen put on the Bears uniform. And that's bad to
Absolutely.
fucking say. That's
Absolutely.
terrible. What's up with your QB though, man? His shoulder gonna be all right?
I think so. Shoulder strain or whatever like that. But they say he got his, precautionary MRI, and things came back good. The only thing I disagree with, I think McCarthy just came out and said that they don't expect to use him in the preseason.
So you want him to play in the preseason match?
I kind of want to see him play one series, and not even just because, just I want to see what the shoulder look like. I want to see what that ankle look like. Like, we're not going to forget that this man just came off a gruesome ankle injury. I want to see what he looked like in game speed real quick. Even if
Right.
he's just dropping back and handing it off. Like, I would like to see him play one or two series before the season starts, but it looks like we not. So, I mean, I don't know. But I think overall, I think he's okay. Obviously, he's going to play week 1. He's starting. So
Yeah.
I think there's nothing to be like, there's no question about that. But this is definitely something that, that they're going to monitor. And obviously, if we do get out there play, he doesn't look great. The arm might be missing passes. They're going to continue to talk about this shoulder strain throughout the course of the season unless he comes out looking sharp. That's why I kind of want to see him in the preseason, because I want to see him throw a couple passes. I want to see him, roll out and, take a get a couple yards on the ground. That's just like make sure everything is good. But they say he's good, so we'll see. I don't know.
What makes this
Tune in to Hard Knocks for more details on Dak.
the only thing that makes me worried about y'all, Mike, is Washington's defense.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm gonna say this too. Like, a lot of people, hey man, I got the screenshots and I took pictures of all these sports shows talking about they got the Washington Redskins favored to win the NFC East. Man, please check this out. Washington Redskins got a great defense, but the Cowboys, I think, with the firepower we have on offense and the defensive pieces we picked up in the draft,
Mike about to get mad at me.
the defensive pieces we picked up in the draft, dog. I don't care about anything else, but we're winning the NFC East, and it's gonna be. And that's it. This is a hot take. We're gonna win. It's gonna be a breeze at that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a fucking breeze, bro.
Here's why I don't think it's gonna be a breeze.
It's gonna be a breeze, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not worried.
And I'm
about
not
the
saying this.
Washington
No,
football
listen.
team,
You shouldn't. You're a fan, so you shouldn't be worried about them. But I'm just gonna throw this out here, Mike.
That's not. I'm being logical too, though. Like, I'm being dead ass. Just based off what we have on. Just based off what we have
Mike,
on offense, we should win the division.
Mike, that defense, fam. I know what you're saying. That front seven they got.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad, bro. I know what they got.
Chase and Tez coming off them corners.
Chase different. He different.
Jonathan Allen in the middle. And Montez is fast as fuck. See, that's the other part about that. Because Chase is different. But Montez will chase you the fuck down. Like, that boy is fast. And all that's going to do is make the cornerbacks better, because you're going to get a lot of... That front seven is going to take a lot of away from what's lacking on that defense, which is probably the defensive backfield. But it's going to make them better. But here's why. First of all, I have Dallas winning the NFC East. I want to say that. But here's why it's not going to be a breeze. People act like Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, and that wide receiver core ain't shit. I'm going to tell you right now, Because while I am not the biggest Ryan Fitzpatrick fan, you put that man with some wide receivers and let him throw the rock, that motherfucker's going to have games where he's like 30 for 45 with 323 touchdowns. With 323 yards and 4 touchdowns, and then you hearing this whole thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick again. But here's another thing,
I'm definitely looking forward to the Fitzmagic. I'm definitely looking forward.
Yeah, and then Antonio Gibson ain't no fucking joke in the backfield. People are shortchanging that offense, not understanding that at the very least, at the beginning of the season, Fitzmagic is going to happen. And he got the wide receivers and the running backs to make it happen. I don't think it lasts for the whole season. That's why I think that Dallas wins it. But he can catch the motherfuckers. And he can catch it. And a lot of teams are going to be caught by surprise with what Washington has. I don't think nobody got to worry about the Giants or anybody else in that division.
Or the Eagles. I'm not sure
like
about the Eagles.
Yeah.
We'll see. I hope Jalen Hurts show up.
I hope he shows out just for being black quarterback purpose. But Dallas versus Washington is going to be lit this year. But man, oh man, I think people are sleeping on that offense because Ryan Fitzpatrick at the very least, and he was doing that shit when they was 3-3 too, and they changed and went to tour. He gonna throw the rock. He's gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
But you gonna get them games where he's like 30 for 45 for 343 yards and 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
The defense gonna keep him in games. So
and the defense, he can do that with that defense.
Yeah.
He can't Dallas can't do that with y'all defense.
Oh no. I
don't give a fuck how much y'all improve. Y'all can't do that with that defense.
It ain't even really much improve. I don't even really know what the defense is gonna look like. I just know that they took steps in the right direction as far as like drafting.
Right.
So we're gonna see what we looking like on defense. So
but that defense
is still to be determined, but I also feel what we have on offense is enough to get us out of the NFC. So and
it should, but that defense that Washington got over there, they can fuck up. That offense can fuck up, and be comfortable enough. Like, well, we get them back the ball. Fitzpatrick gonna do some shit with it, so fuck it.
Right.
So and we gonna get to the NFL talk, like get a little bit deeper as the preseason goes on. Don't really want to bust no nuts off, at the first game, even though Bears fans already did that. So let's move on to this basketball shit real quick. First, let's do with this Olympic shit, because I know a lot of people was like, y'all niggas said the USA was going to lose, man. Them niggas won. I said they was going to go up against France. France lost. France get the silver medal. Go to the U.S. Greg Popovich, basically, it's like, fucking look at us now, or whatever the fucking quote that it was. But Mike, salute Team USA for winning the gold. Man.
Team USA. Y'all did it. As y'all should have done. But, y'all had to work for it.
Right,
they had to work for it. But look, this is my thing right here. Look, so Katie and them niggas coming out talking about some this our shit, These motherfuckers ain't catching up with us. Bro, they already caught up with y'all. They caught up. It's all right. They niggas already caught up with y'all, B.
You know why that blew me? You want to know why that blew me, fam? They won by 5.
Like, bro. Shout out to respect, bro. I got to go. Respect.
I mean, we happy you won, but you won by 5. Don't act like you far and away the best team in the world when you losing by 5. That's like me whooping. I'm 6 foot 300. That's like me, and I'm going to throw a name out there. Don't kill me, name. That's like me barely whooping Drushan's ass and being like, nigga, you can't fuck with me. But I barely whoop his ass.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cut up, scratched up. I got 2 black eyes. I got a bloody lip. My stomach hurt. I'm walking and I'm leaning. And he lit on the ground, knocked out. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I told you couldn't fuck with me, nigga. Beat your ass and everybody ass up in here. Like, nigga, did you look at your face though, fam? Like, you You ain't clean, fam. They act like they ran through this shit clean as a whistle. Like, how you
They
like me
didn't.
now?
They didn't.
Bitches, like,
They
no,
was
you
tested.
didn't.
They was battle tested throughout the whole Olympics.
The
Even
whole
lost
shit.
lost in exhibition games, and then lost the first game on opening ceremony day. Like y'all niggas
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't impressive. Wasn't nothing
No.
impressive about it. KD played great, but that's as expected. But the
Yeah.
team overall, like y'all didn't look like it wasn't Dream Team '92 or like 2000. It wasn't like those squads right there, dog. Y'all was
Nigga,
not hooping like that.
you wasn't kicking it while y'all up 33 points, fam.
It's right.
You wasn't out there with your shoes off, socks on, legs crossed, towel over
Y'all
your lap,
niggas,
kicking back laughing.
niggas was out here hooping like it was Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Like that's what this was, bro. Niggas was out here playing with our hearts out, bro. Niggas was kicking it while they was playing in the other.
Right.
Niggas was running scrimmages, B. Y'all niggas
Right,
was
nigga.
out here.
Like, go look at 19.
Line, bro.
Go look at 1992 and 1996. Niggas is out here with no shoes on, socks rolled up, towel across the lap, hand on their lap, talking shit to each other. Man, we beating Angola last day. Well, shit, we got to play Tony Kukoc tomorrow. Hey, Mike, you know Tony Kukoc get paid more than you and Scottie Pippen combined. Oh, we gonna give it to his ass tomorrow. Don't fuck him and Jerry Krause. We gonna beat them by 42. Hey, yeah, but them niggas still gonna make more money than you. Ah, man, shut your ass up, man. Like, that's the shit that they was doing while the game was going on. 1996, same shit. 2000, same shit. 2004, oh, we fucked up. 2008, same shit. 2016, same shit. Y'all niggas basically go on a road to perdition, and all of a sudden ain't nobody can fuck with us. Nigga, that nigga Tom Hanks got shot and died. At the end of the movie. He eventually won, but he died. Like, that's what I'm looking at. That's why I said on this show, and for those who had listened to the show, I said, and I will say again, in 2024, you will see the distance. Because I don't think, like, KD and all them niggas gonna be in their mid to late 30s at that time. LeBron will be retired.
We already ran
Probably.
through the potential guys that's gonna be on the 2024 team. You know,
Zion. I ain't seen Zion Williamson, Trae Young, and some of these other young cats in Olympic play for me to trust them in 2024. I ain't seen none of these niggas. I know they talented. I ain't seen none of these motherfuckers. You know who I've seen though? Friends. You know who I've seen though? What Luka at?
Slovenia.
There, Slovenia. What I see Nigeria building, even though they got their ass whooped. I see Canada could be in a different position in 2024. I ain't seen the young stars of the NBA. Which it would have to be some elder statesmen sprinkled in. Like Steph Curry say, yo, did it be 3 years from now, 2024? He's still going to be older, though, in his mid-30s. Like his mid-late 30s. So I don't expect the Kevin Durant's and the Stephen Curry maybe, because he could be like Reggie Miller on the 2000 team. But I don't expect like KD, LeBron, Kawhi, Jimmy Butler,
Them niggas ain't gonna save
John Wall. Like, I don't expect them niggas. I expect like Zach LaVine, like Damian Lillard. I don't expect Zach LaVine, Zion Williamson, Trae Young, Brandon Ingram, Jalen Green, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker. I don't trust them niggas in 2024.
to play on the team together.
Right. Right. And Luka in 3 years is literally in his prime.
Yes, sir.
Really? That's when I say, and they caught up. Because it ain't about the KDs and all of these players, like the main players was on this joint.
Yeah.
It's about when it cuts to 2024.
It's gonna be tough for them niggas.
Like, again, like, I know Zion Williamson's gold, but I don't know if he FIBA cold. I don't know. And that's who I see them players going up in there and playing in the FIBA rules going up against them. And I'm sorry, I don't trust it.
Yep.
So in 2024 in Paris, I expect Luka to have a gold medal because I think he looking at this shit like, oh yeah, he know. I'm playing. He know. And then we see more Europeans coming into the playing shit too. Come on, man, cut it out, fam. This is the United States. This is the world. But when them niggas start getting old, like you seen the movie Life when everybody started dying and they picture with the black and white. Each year until we get to 2024.
That's them.
That's them. Kevin Durant, black and white.
Like the niggas go, bro.
Niggas go. They ain't coming back. Like Kevin, like ain't none of them niggas gonna be the Magic Johnson and the Larry Bird of the team. I'm just here to get this gold medal. Jack, Mike playing. Take us home, Mike. Like Mike's in up there like shit. I'm chilling too. Take us home, Chuck. Like who's going to be the Michael Jordan and the Charles Barkley of the 2024 team?
Good ass question.
Motherfucker come to me talking about some Zion Williamson.
So don't be tough. To be determined. But yeah.
Shout
out to USA basketball. Shout out to the men.
Shout out to the men. The women, see the women ain't gonna never lose.
Women ain't never lose. Shout out to the
They
women.
ain't gonna never lose. I don't give a fuck what happened in Australia. They ain't never gonna lose. Can't say, I'm telling you. I wish I could put some money on it right now. USA not winning the gold in 2024. But who? In the rules, think about the rules. Who? Nah.
You heard it here first, though. On some dude pod.
And then, especially if Greg Popovich is still a coach. Imagine if Greg Popovich is still a coach. He got Trae Young. He got Trae Young, Jalen Green, Zion Williamson, Cade Cunningham, Zach LaVine, Eric Mobley. Like, motherfuckers, what the fuck is this dude talking about? That's when it's gonna be telling you. Maybe it's like this, Mike. Maybe every 20 years USA fuck up. Mm-hmm. Because they fucked up in 2004.
Oh, this is one right here.
20 years later.
20 years later. All right, cool.
It's that 20-year gap where a nigga be like, hey, we got it this time. I don't know what's gonna happen in 2028 in LA, but this our shot. Who gonna get it? So, speaking of the NBA, man, there's a lot of moves that was made while we was out. Zach LaVine got some help in Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan. They're now with the Bulls. There's a rumor that Dallas is interested in Lauri Markkanen, and they're offering like Maxi Kleber, I think is how you pronounce his name, and some picks. Kepler, and some picks. A lot of movement and sort of like the same, like the big dogs is staying. Kevin Durant signed some of the big dogs signed long-term extensions, which they wasn't really kind of doing. But now Kevin Durant is now long term in Brooklyn. And B signed his max extension. Kawhi Leonard signed his max. I think they said he could have got more if he didn't opt out, which is the funny thing. Who's the dumbass over there if that's the truth? What the fuck? You got a lot of like Patty Mills, like some of the Olympic folks, like Evan Fournier got some money from the Knicks and shit. Kemba Walker's over there with the Knicks. How you like? Stephen A. Smith said something on First Take today when he was like, yo, there's at least 6 teams in the West that got a chance of winning the championship. He said Denver, the Clippers, the Lakers, Utah,
Did
Golden
Denver make
State.
any offseason move?
They all-season move is going to be Jamal Murray getting healthy.
Okay.
And hopefully another year growth from MPJ, Michael Porter Jr.
I like Jokic, and I like Jamal Murray, but Joe, I don't really know. I don't know about Denver, bro. I think Denver. I
don't know either, but the competition is going to be thick over there.
Yeah.
With Utah,
gonna be thick.
like Phoenix, Denver, Utah, Portland. Well, no, not Portland. With the LA, Clippers, Lakers,
I mean, Portland. I
and
said
Golden
I put
State.
Portland on it.
No, you
Portland,
don't.
Portland, same team coming back, same
They're not
squad.
competing for no title. They're competing for the title because they'll be in the playoffs, and they might not make it to the playoffs, fam. Just being
Right,
real. Hey man, they got a
right.
new coaching staff. I got to see what Coach Chauncey is about. Then you got to go to then you go to the East. You got Boston, you got Milwaukee, you got Miami, who's improved. We're getting Kyle Lowry. I think Miami just got a lot of people that will fight.
I'm more interested in the Eastern Conference than the Western Conference.
I am too. I'm like Miami got a lot of people that could fight. Like they got the Knicks in 1995 all over again. I said it on the pod. You got the Bulls who look to improve. You got 1 year with Vucci Mane on the team, along with now DeMar DeRozan. Pat Williams looked amazing in summer league.
Dirty balls in the summer league.
God
I know it's
damn,
big, but still, no, like Patrick
buddy
Williams.
ass.
All right.
Woo. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I wasn't really sold on Patrick Williams. I don't know yet.
I was,
He's
but
still be determined. He's still be
he was.
determined.
I was sold, but shit, like
I'm not sold on him. I'm not sold on him as
he's just
as a big
19,
man.
fam.
Yeah, he's still a baby. But I
Like,
need
what
to
if
see
that
more.
nigga grow? But what if that nigga grow like two? He 19. What if he grow 2 more inches?
I want to see him be more aggressive in the paint. We know he can shoot the 3-ball.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
on
yeah,
some-
yeah.
he can shoot it. I want to see him be more aggressive in the paint, like offensive boards, defense. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him be not a like, just like be a more aggressive big man. Like I want to see him play more big
I
man
think,
ball.
and I think that's gonna be able to
Yeah.
happen. But like he 19, fam. Like he younger than some of the
yeah.
people that was drafted this year, fam. Like,
Yeah.
like what if he grow like just 2-3 more inches? Like
God will.
it's happened. Motherfucker be like, yo. He was like next offseason, they be like, yo, the thing is with Pat Williams is he was already growing. He was already growing to his NBA body, but now he just grown 3 inches. Like that happened with Giannis. I see him like Giannis then grew to 7 foot. What the fuck? And remember they did that shit with KD too, because KD's supposed to be like 7'2" or some shit. I said to say, now with all of the changes going on, give me a player and a team that you're excited to see this year.
Player and a
Give me
team.
one player and one team.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I'm Russell Westbrook in the Lakers. I'm that's the most exciting offseason move that I'm intrigued about. That's the one I want to see. And yeah, I'm very excited for Russ, and I think this is his opportunity to get the championship, bro. Like to get the championship that everybody's been, hoping that he gets, and people think that he needs on his resume to, solidify him to be that guy, like one of those top point guards ever. So I'm that's the number one.
Okay.
The number one. Who else am I interested in seeing? I'm definitely interested in I'm interested in this Bulls thing too, bro. I want to see how DeMar and Levine look together.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in that because I'm a Bulls fan, so that's like automatic for me. But I am interested to see how that works. I think it will, because especially seeing how DeMar DeRozan eat up the mid range, like he eats that bitch up heavy.
Yeah.
And Zach can do that, but then still also, of course, shoot your lights out from behind the arc all day long. So I'm not really worried about that. But Lonzo Ball, I want to see how he fits in there. If they how they could run around with Vucci being the center, who's not the fastest center. Mm-hmm. He's more of a Jokic type, but a bit slower. So does he lose weight and become more? I mean, he could pass the ball. He could shoot the rock behind the arc too. But I'm interested to see that. As far as player goes, I'm actually excited to see Jalen Green.
Okay.
I want to and like Jalen Green and the Houston Rockets is the player and the team I'm interested in seeing.
They got what you call it, Porter Jr. too, right?
That's because you got Christian Wood over there, but then you got Kevin Porter Jr.
Kevin Porter Jr. is a bucket. He's a bucket. Houston definitely going to be interested.
And it seems like Jalen Green is a bucket. Kevin Porter is a bucket. So I'm interested to see how their styles, how their personalities mesh.
Yeah.
because Kevin Porter Jr. looks like he'd be a little volatile, and Jalen Green is already like, yo, this my shit. You can tell he walks around with that swag. So I'm interested to see how that goes because I'm looking at teams like in the future. I think Detroit in the future is gonna look nice. I think Houston, if everything goes well, is gonna look nice. So I'm interested to see. I'm always interested to see how the teams on the come up look more than like the LA's and the Clippers and the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks and all of those teams. Because also when you think about it, and I think this is something that we ain't really discussed a lot of these players that we look at as the greatest now, like the Kevin Durant's and LeBron's 37. He gone by 40, 41. Like
That's crazy to actually think that Bron gonna play when he's 40, bro. That's
like LeBron is not gonna be like LeBron James is not gonna get his Satchel Paige, Tom Brady on and be playing at 45. I don't think that's gonna happen. But KD gonna be in his mid to late 30s. Steph is gonna be in their mid to late 30s. All of these players like that we fuck with heavy gonna be in their mid to late 30s. So as we look at this draft, last year's draft, these drafts coming up, it's time to replenish these leagues and these teams. So it's also gonna be time to look at teams like the Bulls, like Detroit, like Houston, like some of these younger teams, even some of the younger teams that have youth around them. Cats are still young, been in the league for a while, but once people start moving their way out, they can move themselves in, like the Minnesota Timberwolves, like the New Orleans Hornets, Pelicans, like the Utah Jazz, like some of these younger teams who are just hovering because they know they not ready to win a title yet. But when a nigga get hurt and fall off a team, we can zoom right in. Like I'm excited to see how some of these teams look, especially the Detroits, the Chicagos, the Clevelands. I'm excited to see how they look in the next 3 to 4 years when some of these players are getting older and they start moving out the way. And I think this draft is going to be one of the best drafts we've seen in years. Like I think I forgot who it was that tweeted and said that their draft was like, I think it was DeAndre Ayton or somebody that tweeted and said that
the draft class.
Yeah, and it's nowhere near it. Like this draft is going to be better than that DeAndre Ayton, Luka, Trey Young draft to me.
Okay,
I think between Cade and Jalen, and this draft was deep. Like don't forget about Jalen Suggs either. So I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how all of that goes down. But
I'm interested in this season just based off the fact that we're gonna go back to 82 games and we're gonna get a full season out of these guys. And that's gonna be one of the most things that intrigue me as well to see how these guys, how the schedule's gonna be set up. Like like I don't think are we gonna get more. It's gonna be back to back again. I know what you kind of had. Tibbs had came out with the statement that said he definitely expects Kemba Walker to do back to back games now this year. So, he wasn't doing back to back games with Boston. So definitely New York. I'm interested to see New York as well. Like the Knicks, that was going to be interesting too. Like, you got Julius, you got RJ Barrett, then you got Fournier, then you got Kemba, you got D Rose. Yeah, that's going. Knicks might be tough.
They gonna be out. Fam, I'm even looking at a team like the Washington Wizards, who they didn't. I mean,
we shit on Kuzma. Kuzma, we shit on. You know what I'm saying? Like, but hey, bro, Kuzma might have his coming out party. This might be good for him.
It might, right? It might. We might see most improved player this year. I'm just saying. I think. I'll hot take this. I think this season will be the best season that we've seen.
I hope so. That's what I'm looking for.
In quite some time. Because yes, I mean, we could all predict right now that it's going to be Brooklyn versus LA. We can. We did it last year, especially when they got Harden. Before everybody on LA got hurt at the wrong time. But the fact that Mark is older, LeBron is old, he's 37.
Always keep that. You
gotta always keep that in mind. Yeah, Kyrie might be like, yo, I'm on a mental health day. All I'm saying is that we thought last season was a war of attrition, but I think this year is going to be the first year in a while that when you play against somebody, it's a game. This is going to be the first time we've seen that shit since like the 90s. Like where, nigga, every game the only off night you might get is when you play against, what the fuck, like the Timberwolves or some shit. Like, it's gonna be a tough night for everybody, and even those mid games, like the goddamn, like the Portland's versus the Bulls is gonna be good games. Like, I think it's gonna be a lot of good games. If you got NBA League Pass, this is the season for you. All right, and I'm glad to be back at the crib because I can see the Bulls more often. Let's talk about this Big Three shit though, and we didn't get a chance to do this shit because COVID and a lot of other shit that's going on. But DG, frequent listener to the podcast, had talked about Big Three and super teams. He had talked about how he believed that the Milwaukee Bucks was a super team. It was. And then, Big Three super team thing happened when he even said that the Phoenix Suns of Charles Barkley, Dan Marley, and Kevin Johnson was a super team. I think he said, and I know we was all going back and forth with it. Then there was this article that came out that was listing like the big threes, the best big threes, and they had Milwaukee number 2. I'm going to go to the Some Dude Pod group to get that whole full list because then right after that, DG had tagged us into the joint and basically was just like, yeah, so what do we say here? So I ask you, in your opinion, what is a big three? What is a super team? Is there a difference?
Okay. Let me answer your last question first. There's a difference between a big three and a super team. Any team that's competing, like, has a possibility of like competing, for the playoffs, postseason, can make a run in the postseason, has a big three. You can look at the Knicks. The Knicks got a big three. Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Kemba Walker. That could be a big three. That's a big three. I don't call it a super team. That's a big three. Or you could look at like a team like I think the Milwaukee Bucks is a perfect example of a big three and not a super team. A big three is Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday. These three are obviously they're the best players on this team. Giannis and Chris Middleton they've been raised by the Milwaukee Bucks. That ain't a super team is the Lakers. I think the Lakers could be possibly look at them as a super team because they got LeBron. He came over in free agency. They picked up AD in free agency. This is not a team that was built from the ground up. Then you bring over Russell Westbrook, who just came off one of his best seasons ever, still possibly in his prime. So you got 3 elite players that, not necessarily has grown up with this team. They're literally a team that got like somewhat assembled. This is an assembled team. So and obviously we know what the Brooklyn Nets are. The Brooklyn Nets you ain't got to ask what that is. That's not a big three. It's a big three, but they're a super team though. So they're a super team and a big three.
So pause.
But big threes are scattered all over the NBA. Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, that's a big three. That's not a super team. Those are the 3 best players on the Spurs who are the most effective for their teams. They're the key pieces.
So I want you to pause real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the list they have of the best the best 3 big threes.
Rudy Gobert, Spider Mitchell, and Mike Conley is a big 3.
Right. So hold on. I'm about to give you the top 10 they got. I'm going to give you the top 10 they got. The top 10 they got. Number 10, Chicago Bulls with Zach LaVine, Vucci Maine, and DeMar DeRozan. Number 9 is the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, John Collins, Clint Capella. Number 8 is the Phoenix Suns with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. Number 7 is the Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley.
I didn't even see this list. I don't know. I didn't see
No, I'm giving you the whole. That's what I'm giving you the whole list. Number 6 is Miami with Bam, Jimmy, and Kyle Lowry. Number 5 is the Golden State Warriors, Steph, Clay, Draymond. Number 4, Philly with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris. Number 3 is the Lakers with Russ, AD, and LeBron. Number 2 is Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday. Number 1 is the Brooklyn Nets. Ain't got to tell you those. So, here's my next question. You know what? Let me pop in here first, and then you could tag on it. Because what irritates me is when people bring up LeBron James' name. The only reason why they call it a super team is because LeBron James, this, that, and the third. No. There's a point to that. But that's because super teams only came about when players got power. Because the players build super teams, not the GMs. LeBron James didn't go to the GM and be like, I want those players. No, they talk to each other. Like when Kevin Durant and Kawhi got together, they talked about wanting to play with each other. Then them niggas was like, oh yeah, James want to come over here too. But also those players are top 5 of their position. And I know people, and I've even said it before, like, yeah, so what about the Boston Celtics of the 80s and the Lakers of the 80s and the Bulls of the 90s? I don't count those as super teams, one, because the name didn't even exist, but even more importantly, the ownership built, the general managers built that team. They built that team. Like Moses Malone didn't come over to goddamn Philadelphia and was like, yo, I'm bringing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and name another legend, and they all top 5. No, like when Kevin McHale got drafted, he grew into that position along with Larry Bird and Robert Parrish. So even if you want to say that they grew to become a super team, that's still different than what we see now, putting teams together. And you know what? That's okay. Because we've talked about on this podcast about how free agency and things of that nature was different in the 80s and 90s than it is now. So to me, it's even wrong to even use that term to that era, because when you drafted Kevin McHale, you didn't think this nigga was going to become one of the top power forwards of all time. At the time, Robert Parrish, one of the top centers of all time. Like, you didn't expect that. When Scottie Pippen was drafted out of Central Arkansas, you didn't think he would be one of the top 50 players of all time. You didn't think that. They had to develop into that. In some cases, you had to go through 2 or 3 coaches just to develop into that. It wasn't power with players like that. So I say all that to say this. I use the super team era starting with LeBron James and the Miami Heat, and there's nothing wrong with calling them a super team because LeBron James built the team that enabled him to win a championship, go back to back. All right. Say all that to say this. The only super teams that I see is the Lakers and the Nets. Because each of those teams have players that are in the top 5 of their conference at the very least. They're superstars. There are MVPs on that team. Kevin Durant is an MVP. James Harden is an MVP. Russell Westbrook is an MVP. LeBron James is an MVP. Kawhi Leonard not Kawhi Leonard, excuse me. But Kyrie Irving has the potential to be an MVP. And AD, of course, does too. AD is a top 3 center in the NBA. Or power forward, because you want to be a power forward, how you know that. They're all in the top of their positions. top 5 in their joints. That's why the only 2 super teams in the NBA right now is those 2 teams. Mm-hmm. Then you add the fact that you get some of the players that they're gonna have on their benches, like a Carmelo Anthony and a Blake Griffin. They stacked with names. That's a super team. There are only 2 super teams in the NBA. Drew Holiday is not a top 5 point guard in his position. He's a top 5 defensive point guard and might be one. Nobody is mistaking Chris Middleton as a top 5 small forward in the NBA.
At all.
That's a big 3. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think because, especially with the people that love LeBron James so much and they hear the word super team and they make it seem like a negative, they feel like now everybody got to have a super team. The Bulls, the Lakers, the Philadelphia 76ers, the goddamn Detroit Pistons. No. That shit starts with LeBron. That's a whole motherfucking era, just like the 70s is an era, the 80s is an era, the 90s is an era, the 2000s is an era. That's LeBron's era, and honestly, my brothers, ain't nothing wrong with that. Own that shit. With that being said, there's only 2 super teams. And the great thing about this is now, because of all of the competition that's been built, with all of the talent that's starting to be spread apart, and you see how motherfuckers get injured, that don't mean that those super teams gonna actually win a championship.
Yep.
It is what it is.
And like you just said, these teams, they're building these squads and these players are evolving into great players, which, can categorize their teams as having big 3s, bro. Like you just said, like the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, Clint Capella, John Collins. John Collins, Clint Capella, they're emerging superstars. Like these guys, they made a run in Eastern Conference Finals. If they would have made it to the finals and they would have won, would you have been calling these niggas a super team?
Right.
Or they're a big 3. Like they have a big 3. They have a big 3 that has all the qualifications to take their team to a championship. They make a run in the postseason. Even the worst team in the NBA could possibly have a big 3, bro. Like everybody, like it don't have.
Yeah, fucking Minnesota got Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, and Karl Anthony Towns.
That's a big 3.
That's a big 3. Right, all the big 3. See, all the big 3 is the 3 most talented players on your team. But do you have 3 talented players on your team? That's it.
All about. The Milwaukee Bucks had 3 talented players on their team. Nothing super about them. Nothing super.
They just won. And it's okay. I think, and this is why, even though I had debated back and forth, I had to pause on it because people get carried away with keywords. That's it. That's all. You hear these keywords, the keywords enter your lexicon and enters your language, and all of a sudden it's something that you're using over. To me, the term super team is very much overblown. Just to be involved in some type of conversation and make a team involved in some type of conversation. And everybody want to get their Stephen A. Smith on and super team. Nah, fam. If you actually, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, but it's the truth, my G. If you really look at it and get out of your ESPN mind and really think about it, fam, come on, fam. Mm-hmm. The Phoenix Suns in 1993 was not a fucking super team.
At all. They had Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, and Dan Marley.
Right. That's not a super team.
Not a super team.
That's a great 3-man league.
That's pretty much the Milwaukee Bucks. They got 3.
Right.
They got 2 solid players, and you got the MVP, Charles Barkley.
All right. But the Bulls got Dennis Rodman. Them niggas traded Dennis Rodman for Will Perdue straight up because they thought Dennis Rodman was done and was a problem child. Mm-hmm. Mike wasn't like, yo, go get me Dennis Rodman, my nigga. No, that wasn't the case. So we got to chill on that. All right, man, before we get out of here, I just got to ask you because the shit came up. Shouts out to Cam. He had said some shit about like the best, like where do you put Memphis Bleak in your like Rockefeller list.
Damn.
Right. So that's a question to ponder. But the bigger question is I was listening to 534
That's
the
the
other day.
first album that came out after the Rockefeller breakup for Malik. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was listening to 534.
534. That's the one with Dear Summer on it, right?
Yeah. And I remember, shouts out to my homie Aaron and shit. We was working at Best Buy at the time. We used to rock that motherfucking album. We used to do the A-Town Stumped Around Here and all that shit. I listened to that album the other day and I was like, yo, this album ain't really good.
Hey, Joe, yeah, it wasn't. It had a couple babies on it though. The Swiss Beats record, I think it was decent. And I liked the
I thought that was, I was at Biology Bar when I first heard that joint. I think it was Biology Bar, and I was like, damn, I think Memphis Bleak finally got a hit.
That wasn't it.
And it wasn't.
It was a decent.
Isn't the first time? Yeah, ain't that the first time we hear Rihanna too?
Yeah, Rihanna. Yup, that's the first time Jay had her featured on one of those records. I forgot which one it was.
Because she wasn't
at
that point in time in life. She wasn't Tierra Marie, ladies and gentlemen.
At all.
At all. Like that's, and I'm not saying that's not shitting on Tierra Marie. Rihanna was. She was third. Like they signed Tierra Marie. I'd never forget. It was like Tierra Marie, Neo, and Rihanna. Yeah. And they was like, but that's Tierra Marie, girl. Now Rihanna's a billionaire. You see that guy work? Tierra Marie over $50,000 and Rihanna's a billionaire. What the fuck? That God works, ladies and gentlemen. All that. But I listened to 534 and I was like, nah, this album ain't good. And then remember when we made that Jay-Z B-sides playlist? I noticed I was skipping a lot of the Dynasty album B-sides.
You bugging. You know what? That's the total opposite for me. Because when Dynasty came out, I mean, I liked it, but I love Dynasty now. Like, I think I listen to the Dynasty. I love Dynasty. I think I could arguably put Dynasty in the top 5 Jay-Z albums.
And that's cool. I mean, we got the shirt, whatever. Yeah, it's just maybe it's a place and a time that you in or where you was at the time, and now you ain't in there no more. But like,
it's a question of what?
Yeah, I'm starting to listen to some albums and just be like, yo, them shits ain't hitting no more. Don't hit like they used to.
Yeah.
Like it's forced nostalgia is out there and it's running rampant. I'm telling you, forced nostalgia is running rampant. Where there's people, and I strongly believe this, fam. Like I strongly believe that there's people that's out there that especially like get into these arguments about what albums and this and that, but they don't listen to the motherfucker no more. And when they say that they listen to these albums and it's cold and all of that, they don't listen to those albums no more, or even when they listen to it, they listen to it with forced nostalgia. They're thinking about 1996 when they listen to it. They're thinking about 1995, which is nothing wrong with that. You should listen to a song and be like, yo, I remember when I was this and that, and I heard this song and all of that. So that forced nostalgia is still in their mind. But when you get out of that, you listen to some joints and you be like, damn, those shits wasn't hidden. Ain't hitting like that no more. So you take yourself back to 1996 just to be like, all right, that's cool. I'm gonna give you some of the songs on this list that some of the folks named. Shouts out to the homie Smitty. He said that Ghetto Fabulous is an album that back then was cold. Now you listen to it, it's like Tehran says anything by Tupac.
I can agree with that. Damn.
He said anything by Tupac. I was like, God damn.
Tough crowd right there.
That stuff, I'll still listen to Death Around the Corner. Shouts out to my homie Dave X. He said the Cannabis album. The Cannabis album. And I've heard people say that they listened to that album and they've gained the appreciation to it. Okay. Now. So that's interesting to see that joint right there. But the Cannabis album is an album on that list. Chris Shields said, and I know you're probably gonna be like, he's bugging,
I saw that goofy ass shit.
but
He said all early Marshall Mathers shit. Come on, dog. All right. Anyway, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I disagree, but that's cool.
me, what he listened to don't make you bop, Mike. Mystical, let's get ready. DG said that. Mike Jones said MP the Last Don. One that I found interesting, because I've not listened to this album in a while, and I'm gonna listen to it this week. It's Ludacris Chicken and Beer. My little homie Reggie said Ludacris Chicken and Beer. When the last time you listened to Ludacris Chicken and Beer?
Honestly, that was, and Ludacris is one of the artists that I really like. I loved growing up. First
And
album, back for the first time.
I love this album when it came out.
Honestly, hey, Luda had that. Luda, you could really kind of look at Luda's first 3 albums, and you could be like, Luda had that good first 3 album run. With Back for the First Time, Word of Mouth, and Chicken and Beer was the 3rd album. Now, Chicken and Beer is the least favorite of the 3.
Oh, it is?
I wasn't fond of Chicken and Beer, so I'm not. So that's not on my list. That wouldn't be personally on my list. But you know what? I think if I go back and listen to Chicken and Beer, I think I would have more of a better appreciation because he had records on there.
That's what I'm saying. I love Chicken and Beer. I love Splash Waterfalls. I love Stand Up. I love Diamond in the Back. I love Hoes in the Room. These hoes. I loved Hoes in my room.
Screwed up joint with
Yup. I played Pussy Poppin' in Best Buy. I played Pussy Poppin' at Best Buy, North Riverside, on the clock.
Yeah.
At ignorant levels, and did not get in trouble. That just lets you know half of the shit that I used to get away with. But I loved that album, so when I saw that album get listed, I was like, oh,
with just us running down the records that was on that album, like that album had bangers on it.
Yes.
The album had bangers. The intro was fire. The Southern Fried intro.
Yes. You know, I think that was his hardest intro.
Hardest intro. That's actually his hardest intro. Yes.
Yeah.
So you go back to
I think everything for Ludacris goes downhill after this album.
After that album. You might be right.
But when he put that, I was like, I ain't listened to this album in years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it and see if when I listen to it today, is it still dope?
You probably
or is it forced nostalgia? I'm gonna see, but see, that's the thing, and that's the thing that I love about music, right? Especially like as we talked about earlier, how I love 80s music. When I listen to them joints, G, I'm fucking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old when I'm listening to them joints. I ain't got no idea what the fuck I'm listening to. I just think they just cool songs. So when I at 20, no, I say this, when I listen to them in high school, I'm listening to it, I'm fucking with it, but I ain't trying to tell nobody that I like. Ain't nobody stop. No. I'm not telling nobody that I love the Dirty Dancing theme. I had the time of my life, and that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Nigga, that was one of my favorite songs of all time as a teenager. But I wasn't gonna go to East Proviso. I wasn't gonna go to Prosser, Proviso East, or Lions Township with that motherfucker in my headphones. Nigga come up to you, nigga, what you listening to? Give me fucking headphone. Cause you know in high school, nigga take your head, and the niggas, what the fuck is you listening to? This nigga listening to the Dirty Dancing song, and then next thing you know, you getting rolled all fucking year. Get your Dirty Dancing ass out of here. Well, you gonna be dancing the fucking water, nigga? Then you like, you know the goddamn movie. Yeah, I watched it just so I could ride your ass. But yeah, but then you get older, and your appreciation to them songs are dope. And when you listen to them joints, you ain't listening to them joints like you a 5-year-old and it's 1987 and Dirty Dancing on. You listen to this shit because it's all cold to you now. Yeah. I think when it comes to hip hop, we do have a lot of forced nostalgia. We listen to shit that we really don't fuck with no more. Mm-hmm. And then we listen to some other albums, which this is why for hip hop Celebration Day, which is now official, August 11th, I said, what are unappreciated hip hop albums, and you start seeing albums like Tracy Lee the Theme. You start seeing the Crew album 3030,
Mm-hmm.
and some other albums that you probably didn't listen to or you didn't pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Or you listen to it, but it was somebody else out there popping and more relevant. So you was like, I ain't listen to this Tracy Lee album, even though we got some hits. I'm going to listen to this Nas again. So that's why I did those back to back, because there are some joints that are unappreciated because we didn't really give it the time of the day because the patience we probably had, or we was fucking with people that was bigger. But then there's some albums like an MP The Last Don, like a Ludacris Chicken and Biv. For me, maybe we'll see when it happens. Where you listen to the shit and you be like, you find yourself hitting the skip in the car. And I think ain't none of us immune to this shit where we're listening to an album we know we fuck with, and all of a sudden we start finding ourselves hitting the skip button. And then next thing you know, you skip the whole goddamn album. If you listening to it on Tidal or Apple Music or Spotify, you on a whole goddamn new list of songs, and you like, damn, what the?
Damn, you sing songs on Dynasty like that, huh?
Yeah, I was.
This is recently? Like recent?
Yeah, this was the other day.
Jesus.
This was this past weekend. And I got to Walmart and just was skipping songs. And I was like, damn, what the fuck? And I was like, damn, I just skipped over all these motherfucking B-side joints. Like, the only B-side I let play was 1-900 Hustler. That was it. Everything else was just like,
blowing my mind right now. That's crazy to me. That album grew with me. Like,
again, it
that
just,
album.
for some people, it might not hit. So I hope people be telling the truth, but I see a lot of forced nostalgia out here, because you can tell when you have a conversation with a nigga about some shit, you can tell if they really like that motherfucker or they still fronting. And a lot of us that's listening to this podcast, man, are between the ages of 33 and 40 years old. You too old to be fronting on albums like you still listen to that motherfucker. So it is what it is on that one.
The one for me though, I think one that stood out for sure is Busta Rhymes, like ELE.
Yeah. You had
I used to love that album, yo. Like, I listened to that album when that album came out. I was bumping that album like crazy, bro. And I think when ELE2 came out, I went back and listened to that one, and I was like, ew.
Man.
Shit don't really sound the same. He has some fire on there, but that album, like how I loved it then, I don't love it now. And also with Lil Wayne, Lights Out, that's his second album. I was bumping that album like crazy too, but now I listen to the album, it's just like, oh, cringe, bro. I cringe listening to that album sometimes. Suck up some fire on there, but it's like, it's overall, like, I don't love it the same way I did. And I also, Nelly, Country Grammar, his first album. I think in that album, I still think, like, to this day, the album is a classic. Like, it's a classic in its own reason. Obviously, Diamond album, hella hits. But, man, that album wasn't that good. If you really go back and actually listen to it, like that
with the ears, with the mature ears that I have right now, fam, you're not gonna force nostalgia on me. All right, man. Some quick hits before we get out of here. First of all, it's been 2 years of Some Dude, so shouts out to Mike B. Shouts out to me. Shouts out to everybody who's been checking out the pod for the past 2 years. We appreciate y'all more than y'all know. Now y'all have seen, like, I've had a baby on this podcast and I've been sick a lot. Now I have COVID on this pod, probably. So, hey, thank y'all for rocking with us. All right, man. Jason Hayward, shouts out to Jason Hayward from the Chicago Cubs. He is put his money down on a multi-million-dollar sports facility out west in the North Austin neighborhood on Laramie, across from the Galewood townhomes, by where all of them goddamn, like, factory buildings and shit that they go take a big chunk of that and make that a sports facility for kids. What you think about that?
That's dope, yo. Like, shout out to Jason Hayward, man. Like, that's something that, I'm saying, it's good for the community, good for the city, man. So yeah, shout out to him, Cubs ain't on shit, so you might as well do something positive.
Might as well.
That's dope as hell.
Yeah, man.
So,
and then plus that's the area that I grew up with. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So that's the
yeah.
area that I grew up at. I grew up on North Avenue in Lockwood, so that ain't nothing but down the street. And then process down the street from that, the Chicago Fire is talking about a $90 million facility where Hanson Stadium is at right there. So that'd be dope for us all around. But also, don't sell
Yeah.
your property, ladies and gentlemen, because that means the property value is going.
Hell yeah.
Don't
Yes,
sell
sir.
it just. Don't just sell it just yet, fam. All right, man. Another podcast. We took a week off. We still ain't got Donda. Thoughts?
Hey, you know what? You know what? I got thoughts. I got thoughts now. All right. So on the last time we talked about Donda, and I was on the pod, and I told y'all, I said I'm not excited for Donda because like I just feel like Kanye is just gonna give us some lazy shit. I was at the Jesus is King thing he did with the listening session and everything like that, and he's doing something very similar. He did another listening session at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And that listening session, it came on Apple Music, and I actually caught this one.
Okay.
Bang! I caught this one. I
Okay.
caught some of it. I caught some of most of it. I caught most
Yeah.
of it. And I said it on the pod. I was like, bro, I'm not interested in hearing Kanye do anything musically, bro, if he not rapping. I need to hear him rapping. Like I need to hear rapping. I don't want to hear no harmonizing. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear no lazy ass shit. So
80 degrees.
I caught most of the listening session the second time on Apple Music, and I must say, bang, I was impressed. Like when me listening to the shit, it was songs that he was playing, he was rapping, he's like
Yep.
rapping. Nice long verses. I was like, okay, this shit sounded real promising.
Actually giving us 16 bars this
I
time.
said, this nigga going. I'm like, all right, cool. So that got me going. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, he coming. He about to drop the album, but then he didn't drop it. So, but of that experience of me listening to like some of the songs in that listening session, I'm a little intrigued now. Donda's still not here, but he does have the pre-sale on Apple, on iTunes or whatever like that. Like the date, I think it's supposed to come. I don't know if it's coming this week or next Friday. I don't know.
Right.
But at this point, we're just gonna wait and see, bang.
Yeah, I'm out.
You out of
I'm
it?
out.
Like, yeah. I'm still not. I'm not like finna be like.
I hear it.
I'm not gonna be tweeting Kanye every day like, "Where's the album?" But when it does come out, I'm gonna listen. But
Yeah, I'm listening to it.
I am a little more intrigued now based off what I did here at the second listening session.
Yeah, it's just all that anticipation shit. I'm out now. I'm out.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you want to consider this a rollout. This is a rollout. I don't think this is his
I don't know
greatest
what the
rollout.
fuck this is. I don't know what the fuck this is, but this ain't the J. Cole rollout.
Rollout.
Yeah.
Nas got album of the year. He came.
Yeah, Nas got album. Yeah, album. Yeah, that motherfucker's that motherfucker. Not the type. And we'll see what happens from there, man. Other than that, man, we said all our hot take. What do you got another hot take?
Hot take. Shakira Richardson, she taking down the Jamaicans.
Yeah, Jen, she's gonna. Oh, okay.
Right
The Prefontaine Classic is coming up. I think in the next couple of weeks, next week or two, I believe. They better air that motherfucker on TV because it's definitely gonna get some viewers for it. Shakira Richardson is gonna go up against the Jamaican ladies, the gold, silver, and the bronze. Shouts out to Shelly, and the squad, and she's going up against them. So we'll see what happens. And you say Shakira Richardson is winning.
She's taking them down.
Okay, so just to add on that, I think she gets third in that.
All right, cool. That's respectable too.
Yeah, I think she gets third in that. I just them girls just too fast for her, man. And she ain't ride a faster time than any of those. And then also with the Olympics, I don't think it's a high that they come down with. I think it's some pride. They don't want to win the Olympics and then they lose to her. So that's the other part of it too. You win the Olympics, then you lose to her. It's like now she gets to talk shit and be like, now she gets to talk shit on TV because she don't talk her shit in TV on American TV. Like now y'all know now y'all know what happened if I would have been in the Olympics, but they told me nah. And y'all know who said something, right? So y'all know who didn't want me up in there, right? Yeah, see y'all at the Worlds.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
So I think
what I'm most anticipating. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. If she does win, what's gonna happen afterwards. The shit talking that's gonna occur after. That's what I want. I
Yeah.
want to hear
So
the
if
I
she
want to hear the smoke.
wins, yeah. So if she wins, that's gonna be there. But I think Elaine Thompson is gonna win it. I think she fighting for in this case now. And I know Shelly's gonna be there, so I got Elaine, I got Shelly, and I got Shakari. I think Shakari comes in third, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I think Shakari's time is 2024 anyway, so it's just prepare for all that. So, the last thing that I have, and really just starting off with, man, COVID is not playing out here. It ain't bullshitting out here. I just saw that the Chicago is bringing back the mask mandates, reenacting the mask mandates. So you got to wear them indoors. I see a lot of organizations now. The Las Vegas Raiders said that you got to be vaccinated or come through with a negative test in order to enter the building to watch a game.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not gonna get into the politics of it. This shit shouldn't even be political. I was talking to my homie A Plus, and like I told him, like even we had the yellow vaccination sheet when we was younger, fam. We had the yellow vaccination card, and we had to have that motherfucker signed by a doctor, and we had to be vaccinated with what was on that bitch before we got to school. I know a lot of people feel differently as they grow up and they learn things. I'm not advocating for people to take the vaccine. That's a personal choice between you, your family, and God. What I will say though is that you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. Don't say that you out here doing research and your research is motherfuckers on Instagram and Fox News. Like really go look at the effects of this shit. Because as I told my homie D, I probably wouldn't have took this vaccine if I wasn't working where I was working. Mainly because, I probably wouldn't be traveling and getting on planes and shit. But I will say this, man, like looking at my sons these last 2 days, if the vaccine is something that's going to help if I do get the shit and help me not feel as bad as I would if I got it, because I see the effects right now. I'm glad that I took the vaccine. Now you ain't got to do that. I just hope that you don't get sick and all that stuff. And I hope you don't get sick, period. Not just because of the vaccine. I just hope you don't get sick, period. And I know there's a lot of people out there that's like jobs are starting to mandate this shit. You can't go nowhere and all that shit. Look, do what's best for you and your family, but do what's best for you and stay healthy. I will say that some shit is frivolous and some shit just don't like some shit just need to get done. But this might not be it for you. Just make sure you stay safe out here because this Delta variant is coming. And I don't know what variant that we got, but I hope it's the light version. But this shit is coming. The summer is almost over with, so I'm glad you had your fun. Fall we back in the house, and be safe out there, cause this shit ain't no motherfucking joke. Cause I'm not gonna lie to you, we 2 hours and 12 minutes into this podcast, and I'm tired than the motherfucker, ladies and gentlemen.
But you sound good though. You look that one show where we thought you had it. It was possible you had it. You sounded horrible. On that show.
Yeah, so, well, I can tell you right now, G.
You probably don't look how you feel.
Hey man, it's the football. It's the football in me, man. It's football practice. It's a game. I got to come up in here. But nah, G, I'm tired. I'm tired, and not only that, I got to go up here and make sure that the family is straight. So that's the only advice that I could give y'all, man. Just you don't want to take it, fine. You want to take it, fine. But take care of yourself, because because you get the vaccine, that don't mean you can't get COVID. Because I'm still waiting on that call for my final word. Yeah. But I do know that I feel better than some of the people in my house. And I'm the only vaccinated person up in here. You take that however you want to take it, but this shit's whack. So put your mask on. I'm back. I'm not following white people's directions no more, ladies and gentlemen. I'm wearing masks when I go to Walmart.
Wow.
I'm wearing mask. And I will say this too, like for the fellas, like the vaccination don't fuck with your shit. Cause I'm good out here in these streets. In the South, Mike.
Yeah, man. But just to piggyback off that slightly, man, prayers up for Bang and his family, man. Like he said, it's real out here. I mean, I've been out here in crowds doing shit, kicking it. I went to Six Flags with the family recently. You know what I'm saying? People was out there masked up and everything. So, I'm good for now. I got other planned events to do. I got Made in America coming up. That's a big festival. So you know how they did it with Lollapalooza. You got to show the vaccination card or show you got a negative test just to get in there. So I got my vaccination card on deck. So we're gonna do that. I'm also do Summerfest in Milwaukee. I'm gonna go see Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna be around a bunch of motherfuckers, people. So so that and then I just COVID got to catch me in traffic, baby. If COVID go catch me, you go catch me. If not,
don't catch it in traffic.
Don't catch me in traffic. But if you do,
Don't.
hey. But I'm gonna be, but like I said, I'm gonna do my best to, protect myself and protect others as well. But yeah, that's just what it is, man. Other than that, I think we're good, man. Some do pod. What episode are we on? What is this? 95?
It's 95.
95, man. Five more to go till we get to 100. 100 episodes soon to be. But yeah, man, make sure you rate, like, subscribe. Make sure if you're following us, make sure you follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow us on IG at MikeB_CHR at JR Bang. Also follow our official Some Dude Pod Instagram page at Some Dude Pod. Like us on Facebook. Join the conversation.
Apparently, it's supposed to be a down to listening party in Chicago too. Yeah.
See, niggas might have to slide on.
I'm a civilian again because I would have known this shit.
Dog, they be announcing that shit like last second too. Is that
but you know
this week?
If I don't know, but if I wasn't a civilian no more, I would have known that shit. I would have known that shit. Damn, I see this shit with Reese and Andrew FX short driving. Like, man, what the fuck, man? Like, man, Reese gonna say those that knew 2 weeks ago, Drew, including you. Like, damn, I'm a civilian again. God damn it, I'm glad to be a civilian again.
So what you saying?
Glad.
Is plug like that?
I'm not plugged no more, fam.
You're not plugged no more. All right.
But you know what? I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Check's still good, and my check's even better now.
We're gonna be plugged, Bang. We're gonna be plugged real soon. Don't trip.
We're gonna be plugged in, man. But
don't trip. But yeah, man. Join the conversation on Facebook. Hashtag Some Dude Pod, and that's all I got, man. We out of here, Joe. All right.